Welcome back, everyone, to NFL Talking Points. I'm your host, Joseph Gardner. Today, we are going over our preview show for Week 10, talking about all of the games. Just like last week, I'm going to give you one player prop for each game, tell you what I think is going to happen. Carolina and New Orleans is where we are going to start. Carolina is hosting the Saints. The Panthers are currently sitting at 5-4. The Saints are at 1-8. The reason I could see this being a close game, the Panthers are only 25th in scoring, and the Saints are 30th. These teams are actually pretty similar. The Saints have a little bit better of a passing game. The Panthers have a really good running game. And so if the Panthers can get ahead, I think the Panthers will take it just because they'll be able to keep it out of the Saints' hands. I am going to take the Panthers in this one, and my player prop for this is Rico Dowdle getting over 11.5 receiving yards. Next, the Colts are hosting the Falcons. The Colts are sitting at 7-2. The Falcons at 3-5. The Colts currently sit in first place with points per game, fourth place in passing yards per game, seventh in rushing yards per game, sixth in sacks, third in interceptions. Like, this team is really good, and they just picked up Sauce Gardner. Could I see the Falcons pulling off an upset? Absolutely. This Falcons team has so much talent. If they can put it together, they absolutely can win games against good opponents. They beat the Bills earlier this year. I am going to take the Colts, though. They're just too good, and I think Sauce Gardner can add a piece immediately. So I am going to pick the Colts to take this one, and my player prop for this one is Jonathan Taylor going over 2.5 receptions. Next, we've got the Giants traveling to Chicago to face the Bears. The Bears are 5-3. The Giants 2-7. The Bears lead the league in turnover differential. So they have way more they're forcing way more turnovers on defense than they are giving up on offense. They're first in the league in interceptions, and I think that will be the decider in this game as well. The Bears are heavily reliant on turnovers, but it's been pretty consistent. So I am going to take the Bears in this one, and I'm going to take the Bears to get some sort of turnover at some point in this game. The other my player prop, Tyrone Tracy of the Giants, running back of the Giants. I'm taking him to go over 2.5 receptions. And next we'll go to Jacksonville. They are taking on Houston in Houston. I like Houston in this one. I think their defense is just so good. Houston is at 3-5. Jacksonville 5-3. If the Texans can pull off a win here, it takes that spread in the division, but within a game. Jacksonville is 24th in scoring. Texans are 26th in scoring. Neither of these offenses have played well, so I'm just gonna take the Texans, who just have a better defense. I like the Jaguars' defense, and they're one of the best in forcing turnovers. But I just think that this Texans defense is going to be too much for the Jaguars to handle. And so for that reason, I'm taking the Texans in this one. And I also have Trevor Lawrence over 0.5 interceptions. So my player prop for this one, Trevor Lawrence will throw an interception in this game. Next, we've got the Dolphins hosting the Bills. Tough break for the Dolphins to get here. Dolphins are at 2-7. Bills are at 6-2. Dolphins are at home. I don't think that's going to get them a win, though. They're 30th in interceptions, 25th in sacks. Like, they're just not a good team on defense. And the Bills lead the league in rushing offense. I could see the Dolphins putting up some rushing yards, which is why my player prop for this game is Devon Achane going over 62.5 rushing yards. The Bills' run defense is really their only weakness. I just don't think that's enough to get it done against this Bills team, who is 5th in points per game. I'm going to take the Bills in this one. Next, we've got the Lamar Jackson-led Ravens going up against the Minnesota Vikings. They are traveling to Minnesota. The Vikings are at 4-4. Ravens 3-5. This is a pretty crucial game for both of these teams. If the Ravens can take a win here, both of these teams move to 4-5. I think that both of these teams have played like they are 4-5, and so I like taking that. I like taking that. So I am gonna take Baltimore to pull off the win here, mainly because of Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson is just playing out of his mind, and the Ravens are 15th in points per game, and they haven't even had Lamar Jackson for half of the season. So, I'm going to take the Ravens to win this one. If anything, I would say the reason that they don't win it is because of the reason that the Vikings won last week against the Lions. Just really, really good defensive line play and defense from the Vikings. The Ravens don't have a good defense. They're improving, but it's not good. I could see maybe the Vikings putting up a really good defensive effort and doing enough to give their offense enough opportunity to win the game, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to pick the Ravens, and I'm going to take Lamar Jackson over 1.5 passing touchdowns. Next, we've got the Patriots traveling to Tampa Bay to take on the Buccaneers. Patriots at 6-2, Patriots 7-2, Bucs at 6-2. Really good game this week. AFC, NFC. This is a really good matchup in pretty much every aspect for me. The Patriots have a little bit of a better passing game, but it's nothing, it's not like the Bucs have a bad passing game, and the Patriots have a decent running game. Bucs have a good running game too. The reason I'm going to take the Patriots in this one is because of the points per game. Patriots are 4th in points per game. Bucs are sitting at 19th. They've just had a worse outing, and the odds for Baker Mayfield 1.5 touchdowns and Drake May 1.5 touchdowns are the same. So you can take either or, whichever one you feel confident in. I'm going to take Drake May over 1.5 passing touchdowns in this one. Next, we've got two trash teams facing each other. There's so many different memes that you can use for this game. The Jets and the Browns. The Jets are playing the home team, or playing as the home team. Jets are 1-7. Cleveland 2-6. Could I see the Jets after this trade deadline kind of just going off and say, you know what, we're also here to play right now? Sure. I don't think that's going to happen. This Browns defense is just a little bit too good. I think this Browns defense is going to hold the Jets offense, and I am going to pick the Browns in this one, but this is really just a toss-up. I'm taking Nick Folk to score 1.5 field goals. I think the Jets will just get at least 6 points in field goals from this offense, and the Browns are probably going to hold them 2 field goals and out of the end zone. So, yeah, give me Nick Folk, the kicker for the Jets, to make 2 field goals. Next, we've got the Los Angeles Rams traveling to San Francisco to face the Niners. Great division game in this one. We got 2 back-to-back NFC West division games, Rams and Niners, and Seahawks, Cardinals. We're talking Rams, Niners first. Rams 6-2, Niners 6-3. Both of these teams with 6 wins. This, right now, can decide the NFC West standings, barring a Seahawks loss. The Seahawks are probably not going to lose, but we'll get to that. The 49ers are not getting any takeaways. They're just not, and they're not getting any pressure. They're 31st in sacks with 11 and 31st in interceptions with 1. That's just a recipe to not be able to get home to Matthew Stafford, and to me, this Rams team just is going to be able to do enough to stop them. Because the Rams are 3rd in sacks with 27. So give me the Rams in this one with a really good defensive effort on the defensive line. And for the player prop, also give me Christian McCaffrey to go over 49.5 receiving yards. That's pretty much been their entire offense. Every game is throwing it to Christian McCaffrey into space, letting him get some yards off of that. So give me that player prop for that game. Next, Seattle is hosting the Cardinals. 6-2 Seahawks versus the 3-5 Arizona Cardinals. Give me the Seahawks in this one, clear as day. They've got a better defense, a better offense. They just picked up Rashid Shaheed, which I think is going to be a really fun piece. I wanted to pick him for my player prop, but I just wasn't sure how they're going to use him in that offense yet or how often he's going to be targeted. I wanted to take his over on receiving yards, but I just couldn't quite do it yet. I'm going to take the kicker from the Cardinals, Chad Ryland, who is going to kick 2 extra points. Over 1.5 extra points made. Give me the Cardinals to get 2 touchdowns in this game just because it's a division game. Things can get weird. I don't think Seattle's offense is going to be stopped, but I could see Arizona putting up some points and keeping this game close in a weird kind of wacky game. So give me Chad Ryland with over 1.5 extra points. Next, we've got the Steelers going to Los Angeles to face the Chargers. This is quite an interesting game because, and this is the Sunday Night Football game, so this is kind of a big one. Just kind of a weird game in the fact that I don't know what either of these two teams are quite yet. The Chargers feel like they should be a contender, but with their offensive line struggles, specifically with like injuries, offensive line injuries, they're really struggling when they've got players missing there, and they've got players missing there. So do I pick the Chargers even after all of their struggles? I don't know. Chargers are 6-3. Steelers are 5-3, so it's not like it's one team is doing incredibly better than the other so far this year as far as record goes. For me, give me the Chargers because they are first in passing yards per game. I just like the Chargers to be able to do enough in this game to beat the Steelers, and I think the Chargers need it more than the Steelers at this point, just because I don't think the Steelers are playing for a wild card. They're playing for a division, and they've got a good head start on that. Chargers look like they're playing for a wild card. I'd be surprised if they can take the division over the Broncos or the Chiefs at this point, even though they are ahead of the Chiefs. I imagine the Chiefs are going to kind of pick themselves up later in this year. So give me the Chargers in this one, and give me DK Metcalf to go over 3.5 receptions in this game as well. Next, you've got Lions traveling to Washington to face the Commanders. Lions at 5-3, Commanders at 3-6. This Commanders team is kind of in tatters right now, and Jaden Daniels looks like he's going to be out for, if not the year, most of the year. This could be a bloodbath. I expect this Lions team to just go absolutely nuts in this one. It was hard to decide, but there's so many ways that the Lions team can go off. So it's hard to pick a player prop for this team because it's like, okay, but if they could be just a super heavy run team and just run, and you're, having that, or they could pass like a crap ton and everyone's getting receptions, or just one guy's getting 3 touchdowns, a.k.a. Amon-Ra St. Brown. So for me, it was hard to pick a player prop. I am going to pick Jahmyr Gibbs over 2.5 receptions. I think that there's going to be a few times where Goff's just going to throw a screen or get a check down, and give me Jahmyr Gibbs 2.5 receptions. Another weird thing I saw on this, the Lions are 3rd in points per game. They're 15th in passing per game and 14th in rushing per game, and yet they're 3rd in points per game. It's just a balanced offense. They run really well and they pass really well. Because they are balanced, they don't have to excel in one to compensate for the other. So for me, give me this Lions team. They're just too good. And again, Jahmyr Gibbs over 2.5 receiving yards. And that, ladies and gentlemen, takes us to Monday Night Football. My Green Bay Packers facing the Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are looking like a really good team. This is in Lambeau. So this is Packers playing home to the Philadelphia Eagles. This game is hard to choose for me. Packers are 5-2-1. Philadelphia is 6-2. For me, the reason this is hard to pick is because Green Bay just has so many injuries, especially in the wide receiver room. They're just dealing with so many injuries. I want to pick Green Bay, not just because my heart says so, but because I think this team plays up to their level of their opponent. When they've played really good teams, they show up and beat the crap out of good teams. And I can see that happening with this Philadelphia team, but everything up to this point has said that this Philadelphia team is better, including head-to-head games. The last 2 years, every time we've gone against them, they've won. The other thing, Green Bay is 14th in points per game, Philadelphia 13th in points per game. So, I mean, pretty close games. Both of these teams have lost to bad teams. Like the Eagles lost to the Giants, and the Packers lost to like the Browns and the Panthers. So it's like both of these teams just feel really even. The difference in this one, for me, right now, they're very similar in rushing yards per game. They're 1 yard apart in rushing yards per game. But passing yards per game, Green Bay is 11th. Philadelphia, 29th. And that is the reason that I've got to pick the Green Bay Packers to win the game. They've just... Love is playing out of his mind, and I expect that to be the case even with a broken down wide receiver core. For player props in this game, I'm going to give you two because it's the Monday Night Football game. I'm going to give you Saquon Barkley, 2.5 receptions, and Christian Watson over 35.5 receiving yards. You can pick either or take both, whatever you want to do. Christian Watson over 35.5 receiving yards. I think he could get that on a single catch. And Saquon Barkley over 2.5 receptions. I think that Jalen Hurts is going to have to be checking this down all day because this Green Bay pass defense, especially this defensive line, can get home. And Jalen Hurts is going to just try to get it dumped off, get his guys into some space to make plays. And I think that's the way this Eagles team can win the game, too. You got to get Saquon Barkley the ball in space, and I think that's the way to attack this Packers team. So, lastly, we're going to go over our Thursday Night Football game that we just witnessed. Raiders at Broncos. Why did this game exist? Who knows? I just did a episode talking about how the Broncos and Packers are so similar in so many different ways. Go ahead and check that out. It's a really fun episode. I liked doing it. But looking at this game, the Broncos, again, just played down to their opponent. They just played down to their opponent and come out with a win 10-7. For me, I can't take too much out of this game. The Broncos are a really good team. And I just think that they played at the level of their opponent more often than they should. They can't come out ahead. They, over and over, have let the other team score first and are coming out of deficits, and yet they can do that. They're able to do it. Bo Nix is able to throw the ball when he needs to throw the ball the most and make plays to make it happen. This Raiders team might be a little bit underrated considering that they were, batted ball away from beating the Jaguars last week, and we're only 3 points away from beating the Broncos this week. The Broncos, who are right now, before everyone else plays their games, right now they're the number one seed. So, of course, if the Colts win, they'll take that back. But yeah. I like this Broncos team a lot. They're just kind of still figuring some things out, similar to the Packers, and we'll just not even ever think about this game ever again in our lives, because if you watch this game, it just seemed like it went on forever. Just complete garbage on both sides of the ball. I I saw a stat. Let me get this for you guys. All right, here it is. Only 2 times in the last 40 years has an NFL team had a game, just an NFL team, had a game with 10 penalties, 10 or more penalties than points, more penalties than first downs, an entire quarter without a first down, under 100 rushing yards, under 150 net passing yards, and a missed field goal. All of those teams happened to the Broncos, and all of those things happened to the Raiders. Both teams had all of those factors in this game, and only 2 times in the last 40 years has a single NFL team had one of these things. Both of these teams had 10 or more penalties than points, more penalties than first downs, an entire quarter without a first down, under 100 rushing yards, under 150 net passing yards, and a missed field goal. Both of these teams, I mean, that's just, I get that there's a lot of stats. Of course, that hasn't happened more than twice in 40 years. But to have both of those teams on, both teams have all of those factors, just kind of shows you what this game was in reality. Just a terrible game to watch. Yeah, so that's it for me this week. That gives you your review of Thursday Night Football and the preview for the Week 10 games. We will check back in next week to check up on how we did on our player props. And thank you, everyone, for watching. Until next time, I will talk to you guys later. Peace.